If Masai does not build that team around Scottie, and Scottie sees that this team's going nowhere, read my words, guys. Scottie Barnes will leave Toronto. Scottie Barnes will leave the Raptors.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Welcome to Tea Time with Tommy with your host Tommy, Norbz, and me, Britt. Hey guys, long time no see. I haven't done an episode in so long.
Yeah, it's finally great to have co-hosts.
Yeah.
It's finally great to have two co-hosts, audience of Tea Time. It's finally great to have two co-hosts with me.
We're back, just like spring traiking in baseball. We are back. We are back.
Hey, you both left me to do an episode by myself. I'm not happy about that.
That's okay.
You both owe me something.
You did great.
Quite the experience, yeah. It's an experience of a lifetime.
Quite the experience, yes. I just want to say, to the viewers before Britt, you start off, I'm just a little sick, so I have this Kleenex in my hand. I was coughing all morning, so just bear with me. Norbz and Britt know about it, but I just wanted to say that.
It's all good. You still sound great.
It's all good. It's all good.
Thanks, Britt. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So on this episode, we're going to be talking all things Toronto sports. Well, just basketball and hockey. So let's start with the Toronto Raptors. Well, Tommy, you're wearing a Raptors hat right now. So probably start off with you. And let's talk about the Raptors post-trade deadline. What is happening?
So as you guys can know, the last topic, which I did by myself because you guys weren't available, talked about the Pascal Siakam trade. So we got 2 first-round picks for the 2024 season, guys, which will be huge for Masai to build around Scottie, RJ, and Emmanuel. So we get 2 first-round picks, a conditional 2026 first-round pick, which was good. We also got Bruce Brown, Kira Lewis Jr., and Jordan Aurora. Now, what we did was we flipped Kira Lewis Jr. I don't know why we traded him to the Utah Jazz with, I believe it was Otto Porter Jr. for Kelly Olynyk and up-and-coming prospect, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, guys, Agbaji we got from the Jazz. He looks like a really good, promising player as well for the future of Toronto. And then we also trade Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young for nobody because originally we got them for Spencer Dinwiddie, but then Raptors waived them. To save $13 million in salary space. So I don't know why we gave up 2 players for nothing, but I mean, it's to save salary, but it's pretty hard attracting free agents, guys, to Toronto. So I don't know what kind of magnificent grand scheme Masai and Bobby Webster's creating over there in the Toronto offices. But so far, it's been pretty even in my opinion, guys, with the trade. Like, Pascal with Indiana really hasn't done anything. Like, what are they, 5-6 in the past 6 games? They were 5-6 before, and I think they're also 5-6 again during the past 6-game stretch. I heard not doing so well. Raptors were just sinking down the toilet.
We're not doing well at all.
Oh, me and Britt were at the Spurs game, Norbz, and it was horrific. Victor Wembanyama single-handedly destroyed us. For all the Raptors fans who didn't see that game.
The future of that team.
Me and Britt,
I was so impressed by him. I was like, I came here for the Raptors, but actually I came here for him. And so I was like, damn, he was the star of the show.
And I took Britt to many games. Norbz, I've took Britt to many games because she's such a great friend of ours. And that's the first time she was impressed by a player. I mean, that's when she's like, wow, this guy is amazing. He's elite.
Like, he's just so lengthy. Like, his hands, he just needs to stretch and then he'll block.
Why didn't we get him? Why do we have to end up getting ridiculous draft picks? We can't get Wembanyama. But yeah, and then we're tanking and stinking up the joint. The only thing I think Schroeder and Thaddeus Young made no impact for the Brooklyn Nets. I've heard thus far. Schroeder scored 4 points. The last game against the Celtics, not that good. So the only team that's won in all these myriad of trades that we've done is the Knicks. The Knicks got OG, and they look stout and stellar looking like an Eastern Conference contender right now. But all in all, OG Anunoby wasn't going to do anything for us. Like, yeah, he's a great role piece for a championship team. But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to move the needle and lead us to a championship with Pascal. So we have to trade him. And we got, I believe, 2 good pieces in RJ and Emmanuel. That's the future of the Raptors with Scottie. So it's even. I think post-trade deadline, we really didn't lose anything. The other teams didn't really gain anything except for the Knicks and OG. And I'm kind of happy we're going to tank so we get another good draft pick. But this year's draft doesn't look, it looks So I don't know. Like it's just right now for the Raptors post-trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the Raptors situation, I think they've lost 3 in a row. Although they came close to certain games in the last 5 or so, with the exception of Wembayama, just controlling the whole game for the Spurs, and
he did control the whole
Raptors.
Game, right, Britt?
Yeah, literally. I think the Raptors are in a good place right now. I think they're in a crossroads in their franchise. They just had a new coach, and in the Darko Rajakovic. He's doing a good job, an excellent job so far. Yeah, there are some games where they could have won because of the lack of defense that they have in those few games, but they've came close. They've came close to certain games in the last 5. I mean, their progress is not really brutal, but at the same time promising. I mean, with the exception of the Spurs on Monday, the Pacers, when they faced the Pacers in Siakam's return to Toronto, they only lost by 2 points. It's heartbreaking to lose that close against the Rockets. They won that 107-104. The Cavaliers, well, it's 119-95. I mean, as you can see, this is a very progressive team, as I mentioned before, and these trades that they've acquired, Kelly Olynyk and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly. I think there's going to be more. There's going to be more happening in the off season. I mean, they're just playing out how are they going to do at the end of the year? Is it time to keep rebuilding, or do more wheelings and dealings? And I think that's what the Raptors should focus on. Basically, pan the season out and assess the situation for the off season. What do they need for next year? I think, to me, they need more defense. That's plain and simple to win close games, especially. So I think that they're in a good spot right now. The draft, they just have to muddle through it and see what's best for them, as a team and what they need so far. So I think that they'll do more dealings at the off season, but like I said, they're just gonna have to assess what's going on near the end of the year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Norbz. Their defense, from what I saw, was so bad. I was
lacking.
It was
Victor Wembanyama,
No, I was are you even professional basketball players? Even when Wembanyama wasn't even blocking them, it seemed like they could not even focus of where where their teammates were, and passing the ball just simply. I'm how can you miss a pass? And why are you throwing the ball so far? Do you know? Are you communicating with their team? And it looked like no.
Yeah.
It looked like they were just each individual player was playing by themselves.
That's so true. Yeah.
You guys know me. I want to bring some fire to our podcast to get some views and clicks, right? So I'm gonna say something nonsensical, but not so nonsensical. I don't want to go off topic on the Raptors here. Victor Wembanyama. So Luka Doncic, you're in Dallas right now. Listen up carefully, okay? If you don't win a title with the Mavericks in the next 2-3 years, how long you're in Dallas, Luka Doncic, join Victor Wembanyama. Luka Doncic, go to the Spurs, join this masterful superstar, Victor Wembanyama. You will win a title. I said it.
Well, let's hope that Popovich is still coaching the Spurs. I mean, they're in a transition as well.
He's gonna coach
Yeah,
Trevor.
and he's a terrific coach, but I can't really count Dallas out. I mean, they're having a fantastic season as well.
Ah,
And yeah, I
it's the
mean,
same
they
song
have a
with the
good team as
Dallas
well. Yeah,
Mavericks.
yeah, it's a good team, like two like talented teams, and unfortunately, the Spurs is exactly where the Raptors page is right now when it comes to the standings. But Dallas has a potential. They're have an opportunity to at least like make the playoffs and go a little bit further. But there's other strong teams out there. There's the Lakers, Minnesota, the Clippers, all those teams that are hungrier than the Mavericks. So let's see how the playoffs pan out. I mean, like it's gonna be exciting, like how these teams are gonna jock for position.
Well, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So what are your bets for the Raptors this season? Like, what do you think is going to happen in the future and the season?
Can I go first, Norbs? Hear this
Yep.
out. You know me,
Yeah.
I got these crazy takes, right? Yeah, Norbs and Brent know this. All the Tea Time with Tommy viewers know this. So once Scottie's contract done, Norbs, I'm thinking 2025, his contract is done. I'm looking at 2025 or 2026, whatever. Scottie's contract's going to be done. Scottie Barnes. If Masai cannot show Scottie, like, build a championship team around him, I was saying he's going to leave because I think he's going to be a Raptor for life. I think he loves our city. He's got those Subway commercials. He's got those camera commercials in downtown Toronto. I think he truly loves the city of Toronto. I'd be surprised if he leaves, but let's not be surprised. Like, if Masai does not build that team around Scottie, and Scottie sees that team's going nowhere, read my words, guys. Scottie Barnes will leave Toronto. Scottie Barnes is from Florida. The weather is better over there. It's not as cold. Don't have to pay Canadian taxes. Florida is tax state free. Don't be surprised if Masai Webster don't get the job done and surround Scottie with the team. Scottie Barnes will leave the Raptors when his free agency's up. I'm sorry. I'm the one out of this group that has to. I'm the one out of this group that has to say it, guys. But yeah, Scottie might.
Okay. What's your take, Norbs?
Well, I think to me, Scottie Barnes is a really talented player. He's got a bright future ahead of him. But if you look at the Raptors' track record, in their past 25 years of history, each draft pick that they've drafted, Chris Bosh, Vince Carter, DeMar DeRozan, Tracy McGrady, Pascal Siakam, like all the players that they've acquired homegrown and that they've drafted, they've really treated well, and they've signed them. They've been Raptors for like a number of years. They don't leave right away. They don't leave within like 2 or 3 years. So I think to me, the same treatment goes for Scottie Barnes. He will be a Raptor for the long term. I think that's the goal in the next couple of years, to sign him to a long-term extension. I think he's a very talented player. I mean, like I can't really compare him to DeMar DeRozan, like when it comes to stats and everything. But like equally for guys like DeMar and for Scottie Barnes, like they're young, they're very talented, and they can outscore anybody. Their game is right where it's supposed to be. So I think that the Raptors have traded their draft picks in the past very well. They've become Raptors for a number of years, and I think for Scottie Barnes, it's going to be the same thing. Like they'll sign him to a long term, build a team around him, and he's going to be the core guy. He's going to be the core guy, just like how Siakam was one of the core guys in the championship year of the Raptors. And how Vince Carter and Chris Bosh talent was back in the day. Like they centered those guys around others that can play well together. So I think Scottie Barnes will be a long-term Raptor for the years to come.
No, I once again, Norbs, I'm not gonna I would be really shocked. Sorry, Britt, I didn't want to cut in there, but I'll be really shocked if Scottie leaves. But I mean, like, there's a good chance. How can we all sit here and think he's not? Like, he's from Florida. free, no state income tax, better weather, family and friends are there. Like, it's not out of the foreseeable possible. If he sees that this team that Masai and Webster building around them aren't good enough to contend for the future years, why am I going to waste my time here? You know what I mean? So I hope we don't lose him. He's our main player. But I mean, you know, as you said, the history states that all the superstars we picked, they end up leaving, except for Pascal and DeMar. Everyone, all the other superstars end up leaving or demanding a trade. Like, well, that's another story with Vince Carter's trade thing with Nets, but you know, you never know.
Yeah.
Okay, now that Tommy switched up his hat from Toronto Raptors to Toronto Maple Leafs, we're gonna be talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Topic.
Yes. So I'm gonna throw off to you, Norbz. So we're gonna be talking about Morgan Rielly. Tell us what's happening with him right now.
Well, when the Leafs faced the Ottawa Senators in a losing effort, Ridley Gregg of the Ottawa Senators, for some reason, slap shot the puck into the empty net seconds before they're about to win the game, and Morgan Rielly took exception to that nonchalantness, and he cross-checked him and potentially injured him near the end of the game. And Rielly got a 5-minute a game misconduct, and a 5-minute major for that unfortunate hit. And a few days later, Morgan Rielly had an in-person hearing and got suspended for 5 games. And here we are, Morgan Rielly-less in this next little while, and he's trying to appeal the suspension, and that's the story behind Morgan Rielly. And it's crazy how it's been a hotly debated topic that the number of games that he was handed down. I think, to me, potentially injuring a person, even though that you're teaching the young man some respect about not being a showboater, doing some nonchalant act right before the end of the game. I think I understand where Morgan Rielly was coming from when it comes to cross-checking the man, but he potentially injured him, and it was an unfortunate act. Like, he took exception to it, and unfortunately it cost them, and it cost the Leafs dearly, because it's 5 games, and that's like 5 games plus the weeks that they're off. Like Rielly's gonna be off for quite a long time, like a little bit of time. So I think that the 5-game suspension was fair. There was no reason for the man, for the guy to potentially injure your opponent, even though that, like, you're trying to teach him some respect about, like, being a true hockey player, and be respectful of the game. So I think the 5-game suspension was fair, and the Leafs will have won't have Rielly for the considerable period of time.
Tommy, what do you think? Do you think that the 5-game suspension was fair, or do you think it was too harsh?
Well, this is the ridiculousness of my co-host Norbz Cabrera, guys, because no, it was not fair. Norbz is ridiculous. Okay, first of all, I'm happy that Ridley didn't get hurt. Yes, he got cross-checked to the face. I'm glad he got up, was able to do a post-game. So had a little scratcher in the post-game. I'm glad he's okay. He didn't get hurt. But if you wind up with an empty net and think nothing's going to happen, you're living in La La Land, or you're living in utopia. Because let me tell you something, back in the 80s, 90s, stuff like that, there were straight out brawls, like going for your face punches. That's what happened back in the 80s and 90s. And if Morgan Rielly did not stand up and do anything about it, Leafs media, guys, the both of you, they would have been destroying Morgan Rielly and the Leafs for not fighting back. But, oh no, he did something to stand up for the team, and now they're getting blamed. Like, give me a break with Leafs media. It's ridiculous, So I'm glad he's okay, Ridley. Like, yeah, what he did was very unethical. No one in the hockey world is backing Ridley up for that, because that was ridiculous. You wind up on the empty net. His own teammate, Captain Claude Giroux, couldn't really back him up in it during the post game either. Like, you don't do stuff like that. It's a code of ethics in the AHL. So, and also Morgan Riley doesn't have a bad past. He hasn't had any misconducts or suspensions in his career. This was probably his first one. And you give a guy a 5-game major, it's ridiculous. 2 game, like Kevin Bieksa said in the post game, 2 games would have been fair. 2 games, right? Or like Jennifer Botter also said 2 games, 3 games. 5 games, a little too much in my opinion. But it's like too late to appeal. I heard Morgan Riley appealed guys twice already. Just take your time off. You're in the All-Star game. You had no break, Morgan. You're the only defenseman out there that does anything for us. Just take a break and get yourself ready for the playoffs, because we're definitely going to need Morgan Riley for that. But in the end of the day, what's the point? Because the Leafs are going to get bounced out of the first round anyways. So I guess
Okay, that leads me
this
into my
has to-
next question.
yeah.
Like with Morgan Riley suspended for 5 games, what's next for the Leafs? Like, do you think like what's gonna happen during his suspension, and what do you think will happen when he comes back?
I'll be quick, Norbz, and I'll leave this to you.
Yep.
Once again, what's the point about Morgan Riley's suspension? Because the Leafs are going to get bounced out of the first round again, ladies and gentlemen. We all know what's going to happen. They're going to get swept by Tampa or Boston in the first round. So all in all, no matter how unfair it is to Morgan Riley, I think it's unfair. He's going to come back. We're going to make an amazing run in the regular season. Be like one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. We're going to get that second, third, or fourth place in the Eastern Conference, and we're getting swept. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying right now. That's the future outlook of the Leafs. We're doing great. We've been winning off and on. Not as great as the Oilers or the Jets or the Canucks are doing out there in the western area of Canada. But we're doing okay. We're winning. We're losing, winning, right? We're not. It's not like we're losing the whole time, right? But once we're going to make the playoffs, guys. Telling you both, we're going to make the playoffs, of course. But we want the top seeded teams in the Eastern Conference. And then we're going to lose and get swept in the first round. So, in all essence, that's the moral of the story, guys. It's unfair for Morgan Riley, but what's the point of him coming back if his team's just going to get swept again first round? Sorry to be a hater and spoiler today, guys, but maybe it's the cold that I have right now. I'm sick a little bit, but I'm just being.
Norbz, what do you think?
Well, I think Tommy wishes much positive things for the Raptors other than the Leafs.
I do.
After changing his hat, I think he feels a lot more down than up just by changing to a Leafs cap. You know what? I think the Leafs just has to keep playing hard, keep playing solid defense, even without Morgan Riley for the next little while. I'm seeing, in the game that they're playing as of this moment right now, Brody, Liljegren, Benoit, and McCabe, Giordano, and Lagesson. I think Lagesson will be the temporary replacement for Riley for quite some time. I think we're gonna be okay as long as the core forwards continue on playing well. Austin Matthews is playing spectacular, and Mitch Marner, continue helping the team with his playing, and and Nylander. I think they're gonna be okay. They just have to I guess even though Riley's gonna be missed, they just have to keep playing solid hockey. Keep the forwards will have to really step up here and continue on. The goaltending situation, Samsonov and Hildeby, the backup. I think Martin Jones is injured. So yeah, the Leafs are definitely got their hands full with these absences. So hopefully they keep playing well the next little while. And yeah, I agree with Tom. Unfortunately, the playoff picture. Picture will be unclear for the Maple Leafs. I think they'll be limping in the playoffs. I think because they're in a wild card situation right now, so they're kind of in the bubble between like 7, 8, 9, placing. Yeah, I mean, there's like about a month and a half or 2 months left of the season. So yeah, they'll have to keep playing well. It's their schedule is going to get tougher. So I think to me that they have the tools to keep playing hard, keep playing solid hockey. Avoid all the turnovers and help out your goaltender. In the back end. So yeah, like my hope for the Leafs is they make the postseason and uh, and
I get swept.
they just go from there. Yeah. Either a first or second round appearance. We'll see. I'm not sure at this point like how they're gonna fare in the playoffs.
I guess that's the motto. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm going to continue. I know Edmonton fan base is going to be annoyed with me. I'm sure Britt knows. I have a good friend named Avery who works in Edmonton. He's going to be annoyed with me for saying this. We need Connor McDavid with the Leafs when it's over because that's the only way we're going to win the cup. I'm sorry. Like, we need the best player, one of the greatest of all time, to join the Leafs. I know it's a pipe dream, and I know the fans are
You say that
it is
all
still-
the time, Tommy. You say
It
that
is
all
still
the
a
time.
pipe dream.
We-
It is still a
Yeah.
pipe dream, my friend.
I mean, like this is how do you? Okay, guys, how do you like 10 years from now, right? When your kids are like, "Hey, mom, dad, how on earth do you have John Tavares, Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, and William Nylander? You can't win a cup." Like, how are we going to answer that to them? Like, how do you not win a cup with those 4 future Hall of Famers and Morgan Riley? Five future Hall of Famers on one team, and you can't even win the Stanley Cup because we need the it factor. We need the guy who's not scared to put in the Leaf limelight. There's only one person on this earth that can do that, and I know, like he's probably gonna re-sign with the Oilers. Maybe not, but if he doesn't, if there's a little glimmer of hope for us to win the cup, it's like
He's
the
gonna
Kawhi Leonard effect.
I think
Connor
to me that
McDavid.
he'll retire as an Oiler. Yeah, it is
Connor,
a pipe
come
dream.
on.
Wishful thinking to have a superstar player in Connor McDavid join another Canadian team into
His
Toronto.
hometown.
Like that's yeah.
Hometown.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be difficult, man. Like they still have a lot of contract to dump in the next couple of years. Marner and Tavares primarily. So I mean, they've already signed Austin Matthews and William Nylander to big contracts, and to keep Tavares and Marner.
They should have won by now.
They gotta think about that. They gotta think about what they'll do with those two. I mean, they're the core 4, right? So in the next couple of years, like they'll just have to shed a lot of payroll, even to sign another superstar. Like that's gonna be another challenge for them in Leafs management. So as of right now, it's a pipe dream.
I say we
The
get
pipe dream.
McDavid, and we hope Wonderwall will be good by then, and there you go. That's what's good. But we're probably, with our luck, we're probably not going to even. That's not going to happen. We're just going to end up
No.
losing
It's
in the
okay.
first round.
Yeah.
I think we can end on that note there where we can dream about having Connor McDavid, but
Shut up.
probably not going to happen. So let's
Wrong.
end on that note. And so that wraps up another episode of Tea Time with Tommy. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to our podcast and follow us at Tea Time with Tommy on Instagram. Do you have a TikTok?
Yeah, Tea Time with Tommy 79. Come on, guys. You guys are my co-hosts. Don't even know the
Tea Time with
TikTok.
Tommy
account.
79 on TikTok. So
Oh,
follow us
TikTok.
on Instagram or TikTok.
Oh, yeah, Norbz doesn't have TikTok. Too cool for that.
I have a clock that TikToks.
Oh, man. It's comedy time now.
Anyways, see you guys later.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
On another note, please like and subscribe our podcast, Tea Time with Tommy, or else Tommy will throw tea at you.